Okay, hi everyone, welcome back, and in this update we are going to do an Elliott Waves analysis on Hedera's price chart, and we are going to see what actually happened in this phase down, and is this actually invalidating a whole lot of analysis that we were considering in the previous videos. Spoiler alert, the answer is actually to a degree yes. Now, if you remember the last time that we talked about Hedera, let's go on H1 time frame, we were right in here, and the idea was that one way or the other, going down from here is not an option, and we want to see another move up followed by a slow and choppy move down. And what we did not expect, and for that matter I would say what anybody in the crypto market didn't really see coming, was this unbelievably strong liquidation event. And if you have watched the last couple of videos in my channel about other altcoins, the idea is that in a lot of cases, these insane shadows are not real, and these actually happen as a result of some trickery going on with Binance. And if you check out also specifically Binance, specifically actually the USDT pair, you are seeing that the shadow is absolutely huge, and the lowest low is all the way down here to about 7.2 cents. And in a lot of other altcoins, normally I go on Coinbase's chart because it seems like that in Coinbase there wasn't actually such an insane move. However, in HBAR the story is a little bit different, unfortunately, and as you can see, even according to Coinbase, we wicked all the way down here to about the 10 cents area. Bottom line is, in HBAR, no matter how you want to count it, yep, we did absolutely take the lowest low down here, and that actually affects our analysis. Why? Because prior to this crash, the idea in Hedera was that we are having hopefully off of the lowest low 5 up into 1 correction for wave 2, and we were saying, well, okay, soon we can expect a good move up into wave 3, 4, 5. And now, given the fact that we took the lows, yep, okay, this scenario is absolutely not going to be in play, and that actually opens the door to two scenarios. Either we are still truly bullish in Hedera and we are going to have yet another move on the upside, and when we get into a period of time where alts are going to outperform BTC a little bit, we are going to in Hedera take the highest high for the first target in here about, let's say, 40 cents area. But maybe we are going to go quite a bit higher than that, or maybe this is the second scenario, the top in Hedera is actually in, and in that case, let's go on daily time frame. Okay, you can say this is an initial strong move on the downside in form of a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Prior to this crash, the idea was that maybe we are having like a double zigzag, since this is like such a strong move on the downside. But now I think we have to be objective and also consider a bearish scenario as well, especially considering the recent phase down. And if this is a 5 wave, followed by that, what we have, this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 correction down, and this I think we can all agree is another 5 wave on the upside. So maybe if you want to be pessimistic in Hedera, this is A, this is B, this is C, meaning what? Yep, you're having 5 down correction up. This is actually a bit of a bearish setup, suggesting in Hedera the top is in, and we are going to have a move down in order to either get quite close to the lows down here about 4 cents area, or maybe even if we are not that lucky, take them. Now, question is this thing right now at least my primary case? I'll be honest with you, the answer, nope, not really. Why? Okay, let's go on H4 time frame. Okay, maybe it's best to yes, put the chart on regular scale and then measure some waves. So let's just measure this bounce and compare it to this move right in here. As you can see, it's actually bigger than this one. And is this phase smaller than this thing? Yes. How about this move down being bigger than this one? No, it's not actually bigger. So this, my friends, at least by the looks of it, opens up the doors to saying maybe this is a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we literally measure the waves in here. This might be a leading diagonal in form of a wedge structure, since we are clearly having overlapping of the waves between our wave 2 and 4. And if this is the case, then okay, followed by that, we are having a correction up in form of an A, B, see zigzag, and this can be some sort of a 5-wave down. And let's just zoom in a bit more. Okay, so maybe you're gonna say this is one, this is actually, I'm gonna say to about this point a correction for wave 2, and then we are having 5 down into wave 3, correction for 4, another move down into wave 5. Now if you want to be pessimistic in Hedera and you want to say that the low is end, then okay, under any kind of circumstances you do not want to see a quick recovery phase, maybe after having another small move on the downside, in order to take this high. And if I just hide everything, specifically take this one right in here, about, let's say, 25.5 cents region. Why is taking that high so important? Because let's zoom in more and actually delete the waves in here. Okay, so now we can see the candles a bit better. Question is, if we get a move up and in that move we take this important high, at that point how exactly are you able to find the sub waves for a 5-wave from the highs to about this low? Because at that point you have to consider having a 5-wave down in this whole phase if you want to go with the bearish count in Hedera. I'm telling you right now, finding a 5-wave at that point is going to be so challenging to a degree that is going to probably make you say, you know what, it's not really going to be our primary case. And if you want to say that this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, well, okay, since clearly this specific phase is the biggest wave, then okay, I think your only option is to say this is an expanding leading diagonal, which in it wave 1 must be smaller than wave 3. And is it the case or not? Let's just measure it real quick from this point to about here and put this thing at the beginning of our wave 3. As you can see, the answer is no. Wave 1 is actually by a decent margin bigger than wave 3, meaning what? Yep, the moments that in Hedera, either from here or like just a door, we get a move up, and in that phase we take these important highs. At that point, yep, under any kind of circumstances, this isn't going to be a 5-wave, meaning what? I'm gonna say most likely in Hedera, this whole phase is a correction structure and not an impulse, suggesting we are going to continue our move up, hopefully by the end of this cycle, in order to take the highest high in here for the first target, about 40 cents area. But you know, let's hope that we're gonna go quite a bit higher than that. And right now I do actually like to keep the bullish case as my primary case, since if I just zoom out a bit more and go on daily time frame, I think we can all agree that compared to this move on the upside, we are having kind of a slow and choppy move down. Let's just measure it real quick timing wise. Okay, as you can see, this move down in Hedera so far is taking us about 275 candles. On the other hand, this phase up, this massive move, only and only happened in about 71 candlesticks, meaning what? Yep, it seems like in the current move down in Hedera, bears aren't actually that powerful, and if they were actually really powerful, well, okay, they would have pulled the price all the way back down to these levels much sooner. That's why I want to say, look, there's a very high chance in HBAR this is actually a correction structure, and after it's over, and hopefully it's over already, I'm going to tell you in a bit why, we are going to start having another good move on the upside. Now, considering all that, what is going on in the short term? Let's go on 15-minute time frame. So here is one very positive point for HBAR. What do you have off of the lows in here? In my view, there is a very good argument to be made for this initial bounce to be a wave 1, correction for 2, and probably to about this point is going to be the end of our wave 3, correction for 4, another move on the upside into wave 5. So the fact that we are able to find off of the lows a 5 wave, in my view, is a great sign, suggesting, yeah, most likely the bottom is in, and massive liquidation events like this. And this, by the way, in case you don't know, this literally was the biggest liquidation event in history, and events like this usually do mark a bottom, and in this case, hopefully our final low. So in the short term, I do like to be a bit optimistic on HBAR. Question is, why is it that after this 5 wave up, we got a move on the downside? That's because it's literally part of the bullish process, and can we say maybe this is going to be the low of our correction? The answer is maybe not yet. Why? Because if you want to consider having a correction in here, I think you should probably consider the possibility of having an A, B, C in form of a zigzag, and in terms of the subwaves, you probably know it if you are a regular viewer of the channel. 5 down into a correction for wave B. Let's say in this instance an ABC and then another 5 down into C. Now let's go on the live chart. Okay, so I think we can all agree this is a very strong move down, and if you go on maybe 5-minute chart, you are definitely able to find a 5 wave in it, trust me. Followed by that, we are having a correction up, and what's happening right now? In my view, there is a decent chance this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave down into a larger degree wave 3, and current move can be a correction for 4, meaning what? Yep, probably in the next 4 to 7 days, we are going to have another move down into wave 5, but I'm really hoping that that will be it, the low of our corrective movement, hopefully in form of an ABC zigzag. And what is it that we want to see in this area if we want to flip bullish in Hedera? I think you know it. We want to see a very strong bounce back without a lot of overlapping of the waves, and by that specifically I'm talking about having a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so far, at least, I'm not really seeing quite a strong move on the upside. Maybe if by the next, let's say 24 to about 48 hours, if we see like a massive strong move in order to take this important high, specifically about 18.5 cents. Okay, at that point, I'm going to change my tone a little bit and argue, you know what, maybe we have completed the subways for an ABC and the final low is already in. Right now, though, I think it's a little bit too soon to jump into those kinds of bullish conclusions. The points that I'm trying to make is this. I think at the moment in Hedera, you are allowed to consider 5 wave up followed by a correction down, meaning what? Yep, if we are lucky, this can be a great bullish setup, suggesting on a higher degree, this is 1, this is 2, and what's next? Great bounce into wave 3, 4, 5, and hopefully, we are going to have a bit of a V-shaped recovery in Hedera. And if you close this chart, and for that matter, a whole lot of other altcoins charts, and come back, let's say, in about 10 to 15 days from now, I'm really hoping that we have by then completely recovered from all this madness, and the price is going to be right around these levels again, about, let's say, 20 to 23 cents area. So for now in Hedera, in the next 2 or 3 days, let's count on another move on the downside, and then let's see a very strong bounce back. And by the time that we're going to be here, I think we are going to make new videos and see what might be next. And I hope I explained everything well and you understood what is going on in HBAR. And until the next update, I hope you have a wonderful time. Goodbye.